to Scar's Inspirational, and if you call it your reality TV show, you're not far from the truth because we engage real life experiences of people to restore hope to others. So here we have top-notch speakers. I'm sure you understand what I mean by that. People who have been through the thick and thin of life, yet able to stand out. And if they could, trust you will do much more better. My name is Patricia Mgborogwu. Special thanks to you, our subscribers and returning subscribers. And of course, our viewers are not left behind. If you're new on this channel, please do well to click on the red subscribe button up there and turn on the notification bell so you can get our updates as they drop. And also you can follow us on all our social media platforms using the link on the screen. As usual, I'm not alone. I have my guest with me, my top-notch speaker, in the person of Munachi Anya. He is the CEO of Iconic Consult Limited and of course an engineer by discipline. Mona, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I love your cap. Is it because of your company that made you to crest your name on it?
No, I love cap, and I think my name on it, it's just as a result of one of the trending fashions, and I'm a man that loves fashion, so I tend to crest my name on my hat and my caps.
I can see, and it actually blends with your
well, I can say this very one is coincidence because even the wristwatch I'm putting on
you are really a fashion person.
I woke up to dress up and I found myself this way.
Wow. I would love to have this kind of cap.
It's okay, no problems. I have my designer. I have one for you.
Oh. Yeah. So that's a credit to me or to you. Whatever. Thank you so much for making me to have at least one cap from you.
It's all right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome once more. I think this is your first time of joining Scar's Inspirational for the show.
Yeah, this is my first time.
Okay. You're welcome once more. I was actually inspired by some time ago you talked about some of the things you've been through, and I think it's something that people need to hear you out in the sense of being a source of inspiration to other people. So I just want to ask, how did you start?
Oh, that's okay. First of all, she has introduced me. My full names are Anya Manachinat. Vice Grace, I'm the CEO of Iconic Consult Limited. As regards to the question she asked, it's not been easy. There was this singer that sang a song that said that he was born with a silver spoon, but then he lost the spoon. I think I was born in a family where we had it all, where I can say I have it though we're comfortable, but on the long run we lost our dad, like I lost my dad, and then things changed, if you know what I mean. We lost everything, like everything. I had to go back to square one. But then I didn't know much, but I believe that whatever that happens in people's lives is always a stepping stone, and then it wasn't easy when I said it wasn't easy. I'm the first in a family of 6. I had 4 sisters and a brother, all by myself, not forgetting my mom, though she's late now, so rest in perfect peace. So it was not easy. We struggled. I even stopped feeding in the house at the age of 16 because I wanted to let them have more in the house to eat. It was not easy, but we keep pushing. It got to a point that even all hope were lost. And you know how these things work at times, that even relations, people that should reach out to you, nobody was forthcoming, but we're just there pushing. And trust me, I wouldn't want to say that I almost run into the street because I lost it that to a point. I couldn't really focus. It was as if I just had to give up. But I hanged on. I kept pushing, believing God. And as much as then I didn't know God in the way I used to now, but I think I thank God, or whatever it is, that I stood my ground and we're still pushing. And then by His grace, I found myself entering school, getting admission and entering school. And it got to a point when I had friends, and one of the friends had to talk to me about doing the needful. To him, it was the needful, it was the necessary thing to do. Yes. When he said, there is a way out, and I said, okay, what's the way? He said, we could do money ritual.
Okay, please, Luna, sorry to cut you short. You said at age 16 you stopped feeding from the house. And of course, I know you were a teenager then, and of course, you should be depending on your parents for at least the basic needs of life, talking about shelter, food, and all the rest of them. So, how were you able to survive at that early stage? Because you weren't working. At least at that point, you are not supposed to be working of, feeding for yourself.
Okay, as regards to that, what can I say? Thanks to the mini jobs, I think there was this man that was doing this bricklaying work, you could call it, and all that. So I met him and I told him I want to work and see how I can help my family, maybe make some more money and all that. So he started taking me to work where we go to, and I had to make cement for him and then bring to him. And as of then, I was being paid 350 to 400 naira a day, and I was still saving, still feeding, and all that. I can equally tell you that I never had the intention of having building engineering as a course. My intention in life was studying economics. Yes, I love suits. I love to dress corporate, so I wanted to do that. But after years of working, doing those mini jobs, at least I could differentiate the difference in blocks. I know how the mixture works and all that, and that was how the passion, the interest came about. And going to school, I was like, what's the essence of studying economics when I have at least the primary knowledge of what building is about? And that was how I went.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, at that stage too, you were concerned about, or your main focus was to at least have food to eat and live comfortable.
Yeah.
How were you able to raise money to further your education, or did someone take care of that for you?
Okay. Nobody really did, but just like I said, at the course of doing this job, I used to have someone I could say a mentor. He's led to now, and the likes of two people that know him, apparently Joma. So we're working in his sites, and I and my friend, who is actually in Australia now, he told us that we're hardworking, and that he thinks he wants to support us, that we should go ahead and pursue our career, like we should go and take job and then make our papers and come back, that it's going to see to it. And that stirred up more desire to be somebody, So we went, got it, and then came back to him. But you know how it works. So coming back, maybe, I don't know if when he said that, he said it jokingly or he wasn't serious. But something still happened, and he never showed interest or concern again. But then what could we do? Nothing. We still had to carry across. This likes of my friend Samuel still has a dad who has this passion that his son should go to school, and he took it up. But me, I still had the determination that I had to push on. I had to push on, and then I still proceed even without it. But the truth was that I wasn't really focusing. I wasn't giving 100% of my time to school, because I still had to go out at times to work. I used to have this cousin, an uncle who is an architect CJ. So when he have sites, he still had to call me. I leave school and still come and do some mini jobs, and at times he will help me and give me one or two and all that. And some things that work with still do in school too, which I don't want to say to still make one or two things.
Yeah,
but trust me, I wasn't a bad boy during my school.
All right. I think I believe you. You said there was a time you wanted to lose it, like the things you expected or the things you had worked for wasn't going the way you had planned it, and then you think you wanted to end it, and it's caused some mental challenges for you. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, as regards to that, I think I've heard people said they couldn't bear it anymore, and maybe as day breaks, they say somebody commit suicide or somebody died and all that. I think my own was another case of it, because it's more like where you're the first in the family, much is expected of you. You're looking at yourself, you're not comfortable, like you're looking at your siblings and you can't even do anything. The struggle was just too much. It was just too much. You're looking at your mom, she's doing everything she could to see that she's that good mother, and it's not forthcoming. All her struggle seems to be as if it wasn't just going. Trust me, when I said this thing, I almost lost it. Like, I began to ask myself, what's the essence or what's the reason of living? Yeah, what is the reason of living? At some point, this friend of mine had his own parents who were at least helping out. And here am I, it's just me, trying to be somebody for myself, for my family, for my community and the nation at large. There were so many thinking that I almost gave up. But thank God for mommy's love and all that, who still, when they started noticing the change in me, they started noticing this guy seems to be losing it. And I was kept in check. Kept in check in the sense that I was kept indoors, not being allowed to go out, and maybe I could lose it out there and all that. So I was kept in check, and then once in a while being talked to and then being checked on like a baby, and then as God may have it, which I can tell you it is God. I tell you it is God because so many things have happened in my life that I could have just give up. As regards to hearing things these days that people do, and then but this girl still kept me. So I didn't know how it happened, but I think I never lost it as I thought, and today here I am, sound and healthy.
Okay, how long did this happen?
Few months, about 6-7 months.
Okay, so at that period you weren't yourself.
I wasn't.
You were not conscious.
Yeah.
So when you regained consciousness, how did you feel? Were you surprised at the place you were, or did something change for you? In your sight?
Oh, wow. It's a long time ago, years to precise, and I can't really say much about the experience, but I thought it was more like something just came, something was in you or something was happening inside of you, and at the point, the thing just like somebody that is down with typhoid or malaria, and you're done at some point, you were being given medication, and at a point, I don't believe in some things, so I wouldn't want to go into detail saying things that they were saying that somebody was behind it and all diabolic, and I don't really believe in that. So I don't know. I'm not saying it doesn't exist to some people that believe. I'm not saying that, but I've grown to the realm or to a stage in life when I don't think about God. I don't think about negative thoughts.
Okay.
I always had to be pure and clean.
Okay.
So, but I think at some point I just had to find myself, being myself again, at least the me I used to know. Yes, the me I used to know who always want to wake up in the morning, go fetch water or do 1 or 2 house chores, in as much as I have sisters, and then still go out to hustle. I just found myself coming back to that state.
Okay. You made mention of a friend of you telling you that there is a way, which is not really the right way. Can you tell us about that?
Wow. Okay. Just as I said earlier, it was all going, and get admission. Then I was still in school. I had this friend who was equally from my kindred. I know him too well. I know his dad, and things were just going. And he came up to me one day and said, "This is too much, and that I'm the first son, and much is expected of first sons. You know how it is with African traditional mentality, and then that he has a way, okay, which I said was the way, and he said money ritual, and trust me when I said this at that point, I gave in. Ignorantly, I felt okay, that's the way out. Okay, and I asked how do we go about it, and he said, no big deal. Use my mom for the money ritual, and I have everything I want, and that he's going to use his mom also. And something came into my thoughts then. I know I used to watch Nigerian movie, and there's always this likes of Kanayo, Kenneth Okonkwo and all that, all those money ritual thing, and I was like, I've always seen them do those such things with their mom, and then the person coming back to hunt them. So that thought came into me. I said, no, I won't, not my mom. And he said, okay, if not my mom, I can use another thing. And I was like, okay, what? And he said, I can use my man, if you know what I mean. I can use my man to do this stuff. I was like, does it mean I won't be having fun like a guy should have fun with a woman? And I was like, no, that I can, but I won't have kids. So ignorantly, I still subscribe to that. Oh, what's that? So I can still go to mother's baby home and adopt. That was just my thought at that point. Also, I could still call it adopt kids and have kids of my own. So we agreed, planned, decided on the day to do that. I still tell people this thing about people will say that worshiping God is in the heart and not really about you going to church. Trust me, when the word of God said that there's power, hearing the word of God often and on. So I know I could be anything, but I still go to church then. I wasn't really close or good with God the way I am now. So I still went for my service, normal Sunday service. So as the message was going on, trust me, I still don't know what happened. I keep saying this is God for you. A light came. I always look okay while going to church, and there is always this thing about ushers trying to bring somebody at the front row, you know how it is. So I was sitting in the front row, and the man of God was ministering. And the word came. I can't really remember the title of the message that day, but I know at that point I was sitting, I was then contemplating, what is the essence of doing the morning ritual? How old am I? I was just about 20, 21. How old am I? Come to think of it, I'm even in school, and this young man is not even in school. So I just felt a light came into me, and I told myself, no, I can't do this anymore. So when I went back, I met with him and I told him, no, there's no way I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. He was like, I'm not doing it. And ignorantly, I still told him, no problems. If you want to do, go ahead and do. When you make the money, if you give me, I'll eat. If you don't give me, fine, I'll be happy for you. And that was how this is 11 years too. That young man is still running the streets. Mad. When I said mad, I'm not saying mad. Each time I visit home, I still see him, and I was like, wow.
Wow.
This is good for you.
It's really wow.
Yeah.
I would say that's a miracle, isn't that?
Trust me, it is. I agree with that.
All right. I thank God for your testimony. I am really inspired by that. But from the look of things, from your story, I think life was progressive in your own side. Talking about the time you were younger, there was a time you wanted to lose it, but things were, working well, even though it's not moving as fast as you had wanted. Of course, you were focused before on feeding, and then you graduated from there up to the point of getting admission to the university. And of course, paying for tuition fees and all the likes is not 1 naira. It takes only he who can feed to pay for such amount. So what informed your decision towards that? I mean, for the first time you gave in. What informed your decision towards that?
Giving in the sense of...
As in, like, were you too in haste of making money or blowing, as people would call it?
Well, I can't really say I was too in a haste because, just like you said, it was of recent or growing up now to know more that I could possibly say that God was actually working something, even though I couldn't say it there.
There are some things that happens, but it's only when you get to the end that you will actually know that there's a reason why this thing happened. Talking about your passion for engineering, you never had it. If you hadn't had this hardship, you wouldn't have had the occasion of going to the site with some fellows. So don't you think it's God preparing you in a way towards your career? Don't you think so?
Yeah, sure, I think so. I so much think and believe that. Now, just like I said, years back I wasn't seeing that light. I never had those thoughts. I never believed that. But with my relationship or my stage in life or my relationship with God or having seen things or come across things, trust me, I can bet anything in it that I was just being prepared at that point. Because just like I said, I never had intention or mind of studying, having anything to do with building. I had this thing about economics. Even if you come to my house today, you going to see economics textbooks, like from the university. Yes, I had this love for it. But having gone through those days and knowing, having primary knowledge of what construction or building is all about, I just choose to. So I agree with you, it was just God.
Okay, Mona, we'll take this as your parting words. I mean, this one you're going to answer now. Have you found your golden spoon? You may look comic, but you said you lost your golden spoon. But I want to ask, have you found the golden spoon? And what's your philosophy of life?
Okay, yeah. I think to your question, I would say yes, I found a spoon because I think what it used to be before is not what it is anymore. Those days when you struggle to eat, those days when you struggle to get those things that makes life beautiful, So those days are over. I am not saying I have plenty now, but I always tell my sisters, this I tell my friends, there are things I can't beg for at my stage in life now. God has been faithful. Trust me when I say God has been faithful, and I equally believe, having not done those things that I was supposed to do those days, or that I would have done ignorantly, that it was just God had to work in my life. Now, talking about what I really believe, what my philosophy about life, you see, I've come across men. Yeah, it's when I said men, I've come across men that are personalities that have made it. And I've come to understand there is always this story behind their success. They will tell you sacrifices that they made behind it. And I've come to find out that every person has a story. Some persons will say that I couldn't make it in life because my dad died. I couldn't make it in life because nobody sent me to school. Trust me, we've left those realms. There are thousands of people out there in the streets that are doing well today. Their parents, in fact, as a matter of some, didn't even know their parents, but yet they were able to make it or become something in life. So I think whatever thing you find yourself in, see it as you being prepared for the future. Just for instance, I tell people, these days, certificates doesn't really count, doesn't really mean what you're going to be tomorrow. But to me, I tell people that it's one of the ways of preparing to the future. Get it, get that understanding, and still keep it. It doesn't mean plenty money in your bank account, but it's just an avenue of you preparing yourself for the future. So, my philosophy about life is that whatever you see yourself going through, in any area you see yourself, see it that you're just being prepared. Unless when you're not focused. Unless when you're not focused. But if you're focused, like you're just determined that you want to do something, because that was one of the things I noticed about me. There are people of my stage or at that point that if they find themselves, they would have been lazy, they wouldn't have even want to do anything. But I didn't want to depend on anybody. Hey, trust me when I said this. I have uncles, big time uncles that are well known. And they could tell you that not for one day did I go to them to ask them for anything. And trust me, they respect me today for that action. They could reach out to my sisters. I don't have a problem with that. But personally, I never go to them. I stood my ground. I was pushing. I believed that I had to walk myself out to get to anywhere I'm today. And trust me when I said this thing, God has been faithful. God has been faithful. I could look at myself now, or friends could look at me and they want to celebrate with me. God has been faithful.
Wow, God has been faithful. My own happiness is just that the golden spoon has been found. I don't know about you, but this is really a source of inspiration for other people. So if you think you were born with a golden spoon, or maybe you are not, but you are actually looking for that golden spoon, I want to tell you that it can be found even though you've not found it. And so, what you need to do is to remain focused. And don't forget that the reason why you say you cannot make it is the same reason why other people are making it. And so, your background should not put your back at the ground. Know that behind every glory, there is a story behind it. And please follow through the process and don't leave the process. Definitely, you will arrive at your glory. Thank you so much for stopping by, making it together with us. Let's do this again. Subsequently, it's been yours truly, Patricia Mgborogwu, and my guest has been Monachi Anya. And of course, you are new in this channel. Do well to still subscribe to the channel and also turn on the notification bell so you can get our updates as they drop. Follow us on all our social media platforms, and do remember at any point in time that no matter what you've been through or you are currently going through, it could have been worse.